Hi guys, Luis here, estate agent in Central Portugal. Today we are in Castelo Branco, just at the outskirts. From the city to here, 5 minutes to see a property with 3 hectares of land, completely fenced up, some outbuildings for storage and a garage, and hundreds of fruit trees, olive trees, already with the electricity connected. And for water we do have 7 wells. A lot to see on this property, so stay with me. Come along with me, let's check it out. And so this is the access to our property. It's a dirt track, I would say around 700 meters a kilometer, but easy and accessible by any vehicle. And this is our property. I'm not at the perfect limit, which will be there, but just to explain you that the front property, it's well fenced as well, has all the other limits of the property. And it's very private, so within the property you can see bits and pieces here and there, but it's a very private property. It creates like a small valley. From here I believe one can have an idea. So it drops down to a flat area and then it goes up again. And it is even crossed down there at the valley by a creek, a seasonal creek, to take those exceeding rainy waters. As I told you at the beginning, we will find hundreds of fruit trees spread out along the property between apple, pears, chestnuts, persimmons, loquats, so a lot of fruit trees. Oranges, so I do eat some already. And the property does continue on to that pole over there, well, not the first one, the second one, where the electricity does go in. We will be in the property to take a peek at that, and this is our entry. Quite easy, quite beautiful, with these stone walls on the side, receiving a little back, which allows bigger trucks or cars to get into the property. And very well, we do have a gate, so you can close up your property. And we have these lintos, these tapadas, so when the shoots of these vines on the sides grow, they will shade all of this entry onto the property. And this road, which we are already on the property, we are more or less at the middle, I would say. So the property, it's a big rectangle in length that way, but almost a squared one. So it has, I believe it's 160 or 140 in width, and then the rest, it's in length. On this right side, which we will go, of course, new plantation of stone holm oaks and some cork trees over there, besides, again, dozens of fruit trees. And to our left side, where we find this beautiful stone wall creating the left side of this corridor, we will find a vineyard and an orchard of miscellaneous of fruit trees also. Between the fruit trees we find these amazing trees, very well known in Portugal. This is strawberry tree. They produce, I'll show you, they produce this fruit, which are not strawberry by the way, which we use this to do aguardente. It's a very alcoholical brandy that we do here in Portugal. So we will find dozens of these. Of course, you can also eat them. And to access the buildings, which are outbuildings, not habitation, but you can build your home here, this is a road to access it. So it will turn left and it's on our left side. But just for the purpose of the tour, I'm going to show you all of this part, which is quite well taken care of, to check some fruit trees, to check some outbuildings also, and then we will receive back and continue the tour this way. So let's go in. Of course, a car can also come here. And olives, very well. So we will find some olive groves here and there, besides some there are spread out along the property. But on the other side of the plain area of the brook, we will find a big olive grove, which I would say has around 15 years, around that, but already producing. So here we have one of those other latadas, so they would be covered with the shoots of the vines. In here you can already see some chestnuts. We do have 3 big ones. They do produce already. and they take a lot of years to start to, but yeah, grown up already. And here we land at this more or less flat space. We came from there, this corridor, a small olive grove just there, some other strawberry trees, some pines, those ones that do bring the nuts, okay, by the way, not all of them do. And here let's go up a little bit, and let me start to show you that this old building here, this is an apricot or a Damascus, I'm not sure in English. There you go, we have 5 or 6 of these. And here is where we receive the electricity onto the property, and then from here and out you spread it to where you want, basically. And we are facing the road just here, which will continue on to other properties. Another strawberry tree here. This is a peach, vines, loquat over there, which is níspera in Portuguese. We will find also loads of those. And we have this orchard here. We have cherries, at least 3 of them that I can see. But trust me, I won't be able to count them all nor identify them, but we do have a lot of them, a lot of fruit trees. A lot of vines, you can do your own wine also. We cross there, going up. And after the orchard, we find the vineyard, besides vines spread out, as we have here on the limit. So, at the end of each corridor, because they are in a line, we find peach trees, 5 or 6 fig trees just here at the bottom. And the vines are very well attended. They are spread out with these irons to allow growth. And this leads to our corridor where we entered. So, nice vineyard with other fruit trees in between. By the way, one of the 7 wells, it's next to this willow over here. 7 wells for water, okay, so abundant water here at the property. The peaches that I was telling you about, there you go, at the end of each corridor, besides others along the property also. In chestnuts we have 1, 2 and 3 over there. Over there there's an apple, so guys, a lot of fruit trees. So whomever wants indeed an established farm already with fruits producing, this is a nice option. This is an apple. We also have several of these. This one is an apricot. Apricots usually, it depends on the season, but usually they have a good year and then a bad year, and vice versa, always like this. Another apple, and this is fully packed with fruit. Quite nice. And the chestnuts. Of course, it's not time for them, but you can see the clue. I don't know the name, what you call that, but they do produce already. Another peach, another apricot over there. So amazing, a lot of fruit trees. This is a quince. We use this to do marmalade. Where are they? There you go. No, this is an apple, sorry. But we do have quince on the property. And so on this side, we have some chicken coops, which of course you could repurpose for storage or for other animals that you might want. This is the limit of the property, by the way. I forgot to tell you, but next to the electricity house, we do have this water deposit, a water tank, which being on a highest point and wanting to irrigate by gravity, you just open the taps and spread it to where you need it. So a nice closed area for some animals or chickens or whatever you may want. And then from here, that landing space that we used, another storage room. The roofs are a little bit rough, they may need some touch. And yet another one, just here, chicken coops, and yet another closed up area for you to use at will, of course. The roof has collapsed over there, so you need to fix those. And we just entered there. And this is our left limit of the property and continues on in length. Very well. So from here we will go back the same way, but we will end up here again because the old buildings are there, plus another couple of wells. But I believe it's easier making the route of the main access on the middle of the property. I believe it creates a better sense of what the property is. These parts are terraced in stone, granite stone by the way, quite beautiful, quite amazing. And here reaching the main entry. We're going to leap a little bit just to the other side so I can show you a couple of wells also. So immediately we start to see yet other fruit trees. These are citruses between tangerine and oranges, things like that. Again, the stone walls, which are quite amazing along the terraces and the road. We have a palm tree, why not? Just here. And we are almost at the beginning, sorry, the main road that we used to enter on the property. So this is another well, which has even an overflow, which is buried, and goes to a small ditch here, which then funnels onto the main creek. We have another well just there, so there are 7 of them. And here, more strawberry trees. These are massive cork trees, creating some shade here at this area. And all of these new ones, these are stone elm trees. So basically they are from the family of the cork trees, but the difference is this: these bring cork and those do not. Basically those serve for 2 purposes: for wood, for you to burn, and for the nuts. I'm missing the term that animals and pigs mainly quite like. And it's completely fenced all towards down. There's only a little bit of piece on this side here going up, which is not fenced. Then it's fenced again and fenced again. So we have, I would say, roughly 60-70 meters, which is not fenced over there. By the way, that part going up, which we will see, we have initially the olive grove, and then the upper part, mainly it's boulders. You could eventually, wanting of course, you could choose to plant some corks, which they go very well over there, or some other trees which are more prone to adapt on a more rocky area. Very well. So what we have here, it's a pear. Again, it's impossible for me to tell you all of the trees there are on the property, because indeed it's massive, the amount of them. Fig trees, one over there, there's abundance of those around. This one is a persimmon, still green. In Dutch is kaki, by the way, kaki. I don't know why I remember that one. Well, I do, but that's for another day. This is Damascus, I'm not sure in English, but it's completely packed, and we have abundant of those. What else? This one, it's a pomegranate. We also have 2 or 3 of those. There it comes. And olive trees again. Okay? And then let us go back to our main access. So shooting up, we have our entry. We've seen the vine, the olive grove, those buildings over there we received back. We went this way and seen one well that goes onto a creek. We have another well, besides the one next to the willow on the vineyard. And now let's continue on. it's indeed a pleasurable property. We have shaded areas all around. We have these massive pines creating this border, this right limit of this access road. So stone wall and the pines, and these are the ones which do bring those pine nuts, because the other ones, which we call wild ones, I'm sure there is not in English this term, in these ones we call it main ones. These are the ones that do produce the pine nuts, and also accompanied again with the strawberry trees and other fruit trees around. And here it's where we make our turn. Of course, all of this is the property, but from here it makes more or less a 90-degree angle. We come down from here, even during the winter, amazing road, no problems here, no muddy areas, nothing. And here we go to the main buildings. Let me just show you, why not, one of the 7 wells, which is here, next to a fig tree and the pomegranate on the side, which is that one. And this is it. I would say that it has less a meter than the ground. So this is more or less already the flat area that I referred to, quite big. We will find the creek, which is just there, always accompanied with fruit trees and vines, and the olive grove on the other side, and then it shoots up. It's quite amazing, this access here, no shame on that, nothing at all. So some parking space over here, of course there are some leftovers of build sites and so on, which may need some clearing. I just have my car here, there's another car there, but yeah, so we have a garage and old buildings that extend on to the end. To locate ourselves, we have this flat area. Onto the creek we will use this passage to pass on the other side, and going up, we will go just a little bit there, where we ended that first part of the video. So let's go in a little bit, up a little bit before going to the buildings. So these are Indian figs, a big, massive one. There's abundant water here, I'll explain you. That's why he's so happy here. And we have other fruit trees here. This is a quince tree, a little bit engulfed with the vine, olive trees on the back, so a lot. I know that I'm repeating myself, but truly it's a lot of fruit trees here at the property. More vines. Let me show you another well, why not? Which is this, good water, green. So here we find figs, vines, other 2 pomegranate trees just here. This is a loquat, another loquat. So guys, a lot. This is a pitch, yeah, well pruned, very open, which is the way that should be. So here on the back of the buildings, or behind the buildings, another pomegranate, by the way. Here we will find other 2 wells. One of them is this, it's covered, so the leaves and don't go up, so it stays clean, and the pump is there, a submergible pump. And we have a more natural one, which is not closed up around, which is this, just behind our buildings. Yeah, I believe from here the view, you start to understand the other side. The greener line is the creek, so again, amazing place for fruit trees where they are, the olives, and of course veggie gardens, wherever and whenever you want to do them. So here behind these wells are those buildings that we've seen. We just went there to check the orchard and then turned left. And then we had this small olive grove, let me show you by the way, which is this, already producing, okay. I could not count them, but again they are on the hundreds for sure. And now let's go to the buildings. Which the outside walls are in stone. Attend to that this part is a little bit higher than within, so eventually some water may be passing by. So if you want to give a different use to this, you should lower this and create a drainage. Always do this, because buildings on banks usually are not the best of the ideas or the best solution. Very well, returning back, we have the garage, which, by the way, the roof, it broke. It was an oldie, so it needs just to put new tiles on top. It used to have these fiber cement sheets on top, and in front it's cement brick. We have another room on that side that we will see in yet a last one, smaller one. The floor here is cemented, so it's a finished product, so ideal for storage. For a garage, we do have the gate for it, so the structure is already here. Put a new roof, yeah, it's done. Then we have this front corridor on these buildings, very private, with the view to your property, by the way. No one can overlook you, quite amazing. And here we will see other fruit trees. Very well. So here we have another storage here on the side of the garage, which is this. The roof is still intact. There where we see the light, it's the missing tiles on the other part of the garage. If you want to knock this wall down, of course, it would create a bigger room if needed be, or a double garage for 2 cars. So yeah, and a nice gate. And here a small storage, which I will not show out of the purpose of the privacy of the owner. And more or less from the corner, this is the limit of the property, all going up. Nice corridor, nice passage. It's missing just a barbecue over there. And happy days, happy days. Nice flowers all around. So let's leap into this more plain area on each side of the drainage of the creek. So we find more olives, the well that we've seen over there, besides fruit trees. And on this side, the same thing. Another fig tree, apples, peaches, a lot of them. And then we have again yet another latada, like this lean-to, creating this shaded area with the shoots of the vines. In here is the creek or brook or drainage ditch. So this is not a consistent line of water, okay, but it always maintains itself fresh. But during the winter, out of the rainy season, the water passes here and continues on downstream, goes to the neighbor and continues on. Eventually it will end up in the sea, I think, at least. Okay, so this is the olive grove. Of course, we do have many olives on the other side, another fig tree, but this is where the biggest plantation of olive was done. So it's a big space, I would say 7,000 square meters, 5,000, around that. So on the hundreds. Some bigger, other smaller, which always accompanied with this brook with several fruit trees in between and vines, so it's always a fresh area. So ideally veggie gardens, both left and side. I think this would be the location. I'm not a farmer per se, not at all. And then we go up, and over there we will find yet another small creek. So basically it's a trench which receives the water from those upper part, those bouldery areas, and then it slowly sinks onto this patch of olives, which is quite something. Over there there's not much to see, so let me walk a little bit with you this part over here. This was cleared for us to explain how it is, but of course we are in the season to clear, so all of these must be cleared, of course. So it's not a straight line, it makes some curves, it gives some nice look into the property. At the end we have yet another small plantation of strawberry trees. And yeah, but I will accompany you this footage with the drone, and quite simply you will understand all of this part. So, spring day, lovely day, almost noon, 11 something. So guys, 3 hectare property in Castelo Branco. We are just at the outskirts of the city. Eligible to build up to 300 square meters of habitation. Besides warehouses, there are 2 different things. Electricity already connected, it's always a nice commodity, of course. If you want to install solar panels, go ahead. About water, we do have 7 wells for water. I assume that it's more than enough for a property like this. And out of the fruit trees, pretty much happy and alive. I would say that yes, the property does have enough water for this. Well located, the access is amazing. So this is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll leave my contact details at the very end of the description. See you next time. Bye bye. Cheers.